think this lady should wear a superhero cape every day, because what she has achieved and what she's doing for others is absolutely incredible. She's a full-time corporate career. She is a mammy to 3 boys. She's a singer in two bands. She commutes every day from Dublin to Monaghan. And on top of that, she's one of the founders of the Lean In here in Ireland, which is a women's circle, and helps women to do that all over the country so that they can support each other. Now, come on, seriously, give us a virtual round of applause. It's just incredible. So without further ado, Breda, if you are there and you want to come onto the video, and I am going to share my screen. Actually, I won't for a second. So Breda, are you there, honey? Oh,
yes, Amanda, I can unmute, but I can't put my video on. So
wait till I just find you amongst the... Hang on, Ian is taking back the controls.
I'm driving again. I'm driving.
There.
So you can hear me, but you can't see me yet. I would say
start a video.
Okay, I just
start my video. I've got an option here to start.
Okay.
Yay!
Hey, there she is, the gorgeous.
Hello, everyone.
I am just going to make you the star of the show here by giving you the spotlight.
Spotlight's all yours, Breda.
The pressure is on here, folks. The pressure is on.
So
welcome
you can
to Mars.
You want me to start sharing.
Hi, everybody. I'll just give you a bit of a background on me, who I am, and then Amanda's going to put up some screens for me. So I have actually got a little bit of a seminar to do with you today. But before we do that, by way of intro, I'm Breda McCague. As you can see, I am wired to the moon. I had to buy a green screen because I couldn't cope with my background, and I've been living on Zoom. So that's where I am. I'm Breda McCague. I am from Monaghan, usually found in Dublin, because I usually work, as Amanda said there, commute up and down to Dublin. I am one of the co-founders of Lean in Ireland. I sort of chair that on a year-to-year basis. We run events in Dublin, which is where I met Amanda. I have 3 boys. They're called Dara, Kyle and Jamie, and I do play in 2 bands. I used to play music when I was a kid, actually, and then when I had kids, I gave it up, and I thought I'd never get back to it again. And when I was becoming 40, I joined a rock band, and I'm also in a trad band. So I do the things I love on a part-time basis. So it can be done. And then when I was 17, I joined the Reserve Defence Forces, and I was their first female lieutenant commissioned in 1999, I think it was. So it was usually me and 100 men on a range or in an army barracks. I did it for 20 years. It taught me how to coach people, and I got amazing coaching in it. So it was a superb experience for me. I do a lot of talks. I've ended up in a lot of corporates because I do the Lean In piece. I've ended up launching some of the diversity programs in corporates as well. And then I do some of the women in finance conferences. I do MCing, and I do motivational talks about goal setting and things like that in corporates for teams. So that's who I am. I think that's the bulk of it. And I'm a project manager. My corporate background is project management, and I think that's what allows me to juggle all of the plates that I have spinning. But I just want to, I suppose, inspire other women in particular, because I was once somebody who didn't play music, somebody who wasn't in the Reserve Defence Forces. I just worked and was a mammy, and I did that 24/7 until I decided I wasn't doing it any longer. And I went and found my spark again. And now I'm doing what I love, trying to motivate others, help others, change worlds, change lives. It's phenomenal. So if I can do that, you can do that too. So that's just the wee bit about me. That's what you have on your screens today, wired to the moon. So if we can go to my slides there, Amanda. I see a few names popping up in the chat. I know a few others. Hello, everybody. What I'm going to cover in this kind of seminar is mind fitness, and it's more about your mindset, because we all hear about body fit and mental health, but I think we don't probably hear enough about mind fitness or mind stamina, and how to really strengthen your mind so that when you do hit bad times, that you can weather the storm fairly well, and you can actually find opportunities within it. So that's an angle. I don't think they don't teach us that in school. I've learned all these things the hard way, but I want to share what I've learned with others to try and see, can I help you get your mental strength to where it is and your mental fitness to where it needs to be? Because life's full of ups and downs. We're in the middle of a big one at the minute. So I think it's something that it's a life project that we all need to do that will stand to us for the rest of our days. I want to cover what you are aiming for. I want you to be asking yourself as we go through today what it is you're actually aiming for. I want to show you some inspirational business people, some vision boards. We mentioned vision boards because I'm mad with vision boards. I want to touch on fear. Oh, we've somebody that needs to go on mute. I think I can hear somebody's dishes. Whoever that is, will you come and do mine? That's it, cool. And then I want to touch on your brand as well. So there's a few bits in the mix here. So if we scoot on down to the slide, the next slide, Amanda, I'm not sure if I can drive this.
Okay.
If you just go down one for me.
There we go. Got it?
Yeah, so there's a quick storyboard. There's my three boys. That's just some of the bits and pieces I get up to. There's Chanel Mackay, and some of the Lean In girls as well, and PM summits and stuff. Convention Centre is my favourite place to be on stage. It's awesome. And it was one of the things that was on my vision board, and I did it 3 times last year. So that's just a quick wee sort of get a vision board together. We'll talk more about it in a wee minute, but that's a bit of a visual for you. Okay, next slide, please, Amanda. And we go again. Mind Fits, the new hashtag. And if you are on Facebook, because I'll go on it after this and see what the comments were like, and I'd love to start some more Mind Fit, because I think that's what we all need to be at. Don't wait until it's too bad. Try and get it fit, ready for action for the roller coasters. Okay, so negativity bias is when you realize or not. We all have a negativity bias. We have it from the days that we were in a cave, and we need to be afraid to keep it alive.
Rita,
yes.
Rita, your Wi-Fi is crackling, and I would imagine it's because of the slides, so we can't hear you. Will we come off the slides? I think we'd be better off. Well, there, your sound is grand now, but you were breaking up really bad there, and we couldn't hear you.
Right.
Keep going there, and if it gets bad again, I'll tell you, and then we'll come off them.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So negativity bias. What I wanted you to think about today is what you're hearing whenever you do get out of the house and go off somewhere. Usually people stops me anyway and they say, isn't it just desperate? Isn't it unreal? It's just unreal. And I think what that's doing is fueling your negativity bias. So it's kind of nearly validating that you have something to be really, really afraid of. And yes, we are in the middle of a pandemic, but I'm just worried that everybody's thoughts, emotions are fear. And when we get into a fear locked position, then we think we're up against it and we can't find opportunities, nor can we thrive. And we all really, really struggle. We're all into survival mode. And I just think there's another way of doing that, because your mind is a very powerful tool, and I want us to learn how to use it a bit better. Can you go to the next slide, Amanda, please? Right, so I thought this was interesting. I don't know if any of you are as big into researching as I am, or Googling. I'm a devil for spending my time on social media, reading articles, teaching myself stuff. So did you realize that all of these companies actually launched in or around a recession? And as you can see, some of the whoppers like Burger King, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But Disney, IBM, Microsoft. Now, nobody will tell you that when you go out for a walk on the street, or if you're listening to the news, or if you're trying to follow the coronavirus story globally. You won't hear this kind of stuff. You'll hear all the bad stuff that puts you back into that fear, place of fear. So it's important to realize that there are companies who do very, very well in recession. And in fact, some people actually spot when the roller coaster starts to go down, they're watching for opportunities. I want you to try and figure out, are you doing that? Are you doing that for yourself? So there's a question for you there. And as we go, if you want, take some notes as we go, get a wee notebook and scribble some stuff down, because I want you to learn something from this, because I'm spending my time here this evening hoping that I can help people really improve their own lives. So please do note down. Okay, we'll scoot on. Right, so your thoughts become your actions become your reality. I'm sure you have all heard that, but did you realize that you have about 2.5 thoughts on average per hour, which is a lot of thoughts? And you have a conscious mind and you have a subconscious mind, right? And I had to learn this to understand myself at one point a number of years back. Your subconscious mind, if you imagine it, it's like the back office computer that runs, right? And it's absorbing, and it's where all of your conditioning is stored. So from the time you were a baby, you were learning and you were listening to everything that went on around you, your environment, your upbringing, your rearing, your school, everyone in your environment taught you something. And all of that went in there. And unfortunately, a lot of that is quite negative. So often you find our subconscious mind is quite negative, and your conscious mind is the bit at the front. So if I ask you a question, your conscious mind tries to get the answer, to try to find the solutions, to try to do the judgment. But it often refers back to the subconscious mind, which unfortunately can be quite negative. And that's where you find things like, oh, I couldn't do that, or I would never be as good as that, or I wouldn't be able for that, or it's just not me. All of those sort of negativity biases and those negative sayings are buried in there, and often they're driving your decisions, which is quite scary. Now you need to figure out what your subconscious mind is telling you. And the best way to figure that out is when you have an emotion. So if you feel emotion, if you feel fear, you get angry with someone, you get irritated with someone, you've got to figure out what's driving that. Because not everybody may react the same way. It could be something in your subconscious mind. It could be a belief that you know nobody's looking after you right, or you're not getting what you need from your work, the people around you, whatever it is. I see a message there, something about sound. Can everybody hear me?
You're coming in and out, honey.
Okay. Do you want to ditch the slides,
yeah,
Amanda?
Ditch the slides, just to see if that's any better, because it's no point if we can't hear you, hon.
Yeah. Okay. We'll try this. Is it my earphones? Let me take them out and see.
Yeah.
Now, can you hear me there?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
That was the problem. Okay. All right. So that's the mind, the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. And if you can manage, oh, we're good. If you can manage to understand your subconscious mind and realize the power of your beliefs that are buried in there, that you have picked up from your conditioning from the time you're a baby, you'll start to understand why your emotions are the way they are and why your life turns out the way it does and the actions that you take. It's all back to that subconscious mind.
Okay, you're crackling again, but I think it's your movement. You're like me, you're very passionate. Try and lessen down the passion and you might be
okay. I'll stay still and see what happens.
Perfect.
All right. So my next slide was, because I have them on a computer beside me here as well, it's about what it is you're aiming for. So I often wonder, what are you actually after? What do you believe you deserve? And then what is it you're trying to get to? Which is all tied into vision boards. So I mentioned vision boards earlier. Vision boards is where you map out your dream life. If I give you, okay, closer I am. Okay. Is that better there?
Yeah.
Somebody give me the thumbs up. Okay. So it's about what it is you're aiming for. I want everybody on this call to start to think, what is it that you're aiming for? What is your perfect life looking like? And is that what you're after? Or are you actually aiming for something fairly normal or fairly average? Can you all hear me? I'm getting a message here. Your speaker is not working.
Yeah, so she's saying that you might need to drop the video even to get audio better. It's just your Wi-Fi, your bandwidth is not holding it. Unfortunately, crackling.
So somebody can hear.
We can hear you, but it's
the idea of vision boards.
You know what? Just go for it. Just go for it. It's crackling. That's all. It's crackling.
We're still getting the message.
We're getting the
Really,
message.
Yeah? Okay, good. Okay, that's what's important. So awesome or average? Which is it that you're aiming for? Would you say, if you think about what it is you're actually aiming for, whatever age you are, right? Think of your retirement. What does that look like? And are you on track for that? And is it a dream world? Massive. So you need to ask yourself that. What is it that you're aiming for? Because if you're aiming for nothing, then you're coasting. If you're aiming for average, you will hit it. And average is easy enough because you'll see a lot of it around you. Awesome is where you raise your own standards and you raise your own bar, and you're only your ones. So you've got to do this. You've got to do this. And I often say to people that I coach, imagine I gave you a magic wand and I just said, off you go. Forget about your reality. Forget about what you see around you or your life as is. And just imagine for a minute what it might look like if I gave you that magic wand and I said you can create anything you want. Because that is what you need to be aiming for. And you may have seen the quote, if you aim for the moon, you land amongst the stars. And that is so true. If you're not aiming for the moon, you're going to coast. And I don't want people to be average. We've had average for generations. And average isn't that exciting. And I think we are all born with talents and potential that we need to use because our differences are our greatest strength. If I don't use the talents that I was born with and my uniqueness, then everybody loses out. So if you're sitting behind the screen today or you're listening to this on the move, what are your talents? What is it that makes you quirky? What is it that you're unique for? Because we're all different, and that's not a coincidence. We're all different because we're supposed to work as a team, all bring our strengths, our potential, and our talents. So I want you thinking about that. That's a very important one. And then, are you aiming for awesome or are you aiming for average? I had some examples on the slides just to inspire you. Vera Wang, you all know Vera Wang, the designer. She's now 69. She's worth $630 million. And she didn't start her business till she was in her 40s. She designed her own wedding dress at the age of 40. And I'm doing this because I want to make sure that those of us that tell ourselves we're too old, we should have started it younger, we're too fat, short, small, thin, whatever it is we tell ourselves we are, there is no excuses. At any age, no matter who you are, you can start to use your skills, your strengths, and you can go for awesome. I promise you, you can go for awesome. You just need to make the right decision. You need to fight what's in that subconscious mind and you need to make the right decision. So Mark Zuckerberg is another guy that I like. I don't like him for lots of reasons, but what I do think is at 19, he created Facebook. At 19, I didn't create Facebook. Do you know what I mean? Seriously, like he was a 19-year-old, he created something amazing. And now he's worth $61.7 billion. And guess what? He gives a lot of that back to charities. And I've looked at all of the celebrities and all the millionaires and billionaires. A lot of them give money back. So what motivates me to be awesome is to do well for myself, get myself out of average, and then give back. And if you can find something like that that will inspire you, then you will be driven as well. You need to find your awesome and you need to think why you will be doing your awesome. You'll be giving back, you'll be inspiring people around you, and you'll be creating a legacy, which is one thing that a lot of people aren't really, I think, engaging with. A legacy is something you're going to leave behind you. What impact are you having on the world and on the people around you? Because you have to have one. Don't coast, folks, or your legacy will be, oh, she was a great mum, she was a great this and a great that. I think you're worth more. I think you can be a great mum and a great something else as well. Whatever it is, your uniqueness is and your quirkiness, you've got to find that. That's what's important. And then there was another girl. You can Google this stuff, by the way. This is what I spend my time doing, looking for inspiration. I found this girl called Huda Katan. She's 35. She used to be in finance, and I'm in finance during the day. And she left finance and started a company. Some of you probably know her. It's eyelashes. So she's the new it. Once she got Kim Kardashian using her eyelashes, she's now worth $550 million. So not one reason any of us couldn't do that. Not one. And then there's another lady that you need to look up as well. She's called Denise Coates. She's 51 and she set up Bet365. So 51-year-old woman sets up a betting company. Within a year, she had 3.9 billion made. Now, who would expect a woman of 51 to start a betting company online and turn it into such a success?
Incredible.
So this, and then you'll hear about people saying, think outside the box. I am always telling people there is no box. All you're telling yourself there is, if there's a box, then those are your self-limiting beliefs. And I'm not allowing any of those anymore. So there's no box anymore. There is no limits to what you can do. There's no limits to what all of these others did that inspire me. And they're there to inspire you too. And success is repeatable. You don't have to start from scratch. You don't have to think up a brand new product. There's buckets of products there. You can just do them differently. There's no box. I'm watching the comments. This is cool. I'm liking this. So always remember that when you see, think outside the box. Breda said there is no box. And I promise you there is no box. If you set the box, then you're setting yourself parameters and limits. And that's where it gets dangerous, because you're not going to get to awesome. You need no box, no limits. Now, so vision boards, I mentioned them earlier. Vision boards is something I'm nutty about, right? And in this office at the moment, I have about 3 of them up around the walls. And a vision board, for those of you who may not have done one, is literally just a sheet of paper, and you get magazines usually. You can do them digitally as well. And you just pick out things of magazines that appeal to you. It could be a beach, for example, is on mine. I can see the Maldives from here. There's a microphone, a gold glitter microphone, because I want to talk all over the world. I want to inspire people, stir them up, and get us out of average and into awesome. I have music. I have my kids in my company working with me, and I have airplanes. So I'm going to fly all over the world. A vision board is really stuff that speaks to you. You stop thinking about the reality and the as is, and you just pull things out of magazines that appeal to you, that you think, oh, that would be lovely. And I've done them with loads of lean-in circles, because I set some of those up in the bank where I work. And some of them have come up with art. Some of them have come up with totally different careers to the one they're in. Like, it really, really stirs. It'll bring things out of you that you won't do otherwise. You'll just be going day to day otherwise. And a vision board, what happens there is you start to engage with how it would feel to live that dream life. You get emotional about it. And once your emotions start to engage with that dream life, you start to think about that. You have to look at it every day. You have to visit it every day and absorb it in. And then what happens is your brain will be focused on finding ways to make that happen. And you will spot opportunities that otherwise you won't spot, because you won't be focused on them. And you will spot opportunities, and you'll end up saying yes to things that you'd never even have seen before. I've been doing that for years now, and it is amazing the difference in after I've done a vision board and before I've done a vision board. They're very simple. There's nothing to it. That's basically all you do. But you really need to imagine what that life is like. And you need to have that stuck somewhere that you're going to see it every day. I do tell most of the girls in the lean-in circles, put it in the ensuite. It may sound strange, but you're in there every day. You need to be seeing it somewhere every day. You need to be looking at it. Mine has a car on it with my initials on the reg plates. Like, it has to be very specific. And again, it's all about trying to engage. And some of the success I've had with vision boards and people has amazed me. I did vision boards with a group a few years back in a bank that I worked in. And I got, out of about 8 people in the room, half of them text me within, I'd say, 3 months of the vision board saying, what did you do to me? I was like, I don't know, what do you mean? They had got job offers from places they never expected. One girl got a promotion she didn't even look for. And they were just coming at me with WhatsApps every so often to get another one. And I was like, wow. And it's not as though they actually were landing exactly what was on the vision board, but their standards were raised, their expectations had gone up, and they were starting to engage with more awesome than what they had been doing. And things started to happen. Somebody's is on their wardrobe door. Nice one. and as long as you can see it every day, I don't care where it is, somewhere near your bed or somewhere that you're going to be every day. Okay, so mentors and business coaches are very important as well, because vision boards are how you start to get the ideas into your head. And then you need mentors and business coaches to get you there. And another thing I want you to think about is who is in your circle, because you become the 5 people that you spend most of your headspace with. And what people don't realize is usually now, because we spend so much time on social media, one of those 5 people is actually your social media feed. Because you're spending quite a bit of time. I watch people scrolling. I love social media because I use it as a tool to learn. So I just read quotes and I put up quotes. I'm obsessed with quotes. So my social media is probably a quite philosophical feed that I love reading. It makes me feel good. It's kind of like positivity in my feed. So I want you to think about the 5 people that you spend headspace with. I want you to, from here on in, listen to what it is you're absorbing from your radio stations. What are you reading in your newspapers? What medium are you getting information from every day? What news are you watching? Are you sure that's going to help you with your positivity? Because I don't think that's what most people are doing. I think the most of the 5 people or the 5 voices or the influencers that you have around you probably aren't that positive. It can be people you have a chat to every day. It can be your family. It can be whatever. Social media is one of them, most definitely. And I can't strip these out for you, but you can. You can actually detox those 5 people and make sure that only positive, big thinkers and the fearless actually get to influence your mind. Because I had to do that years ago, and it's a phenomenal difference. Phenomenal. Okay. So visibility, branding. I have 1 minute left. I'm an awful talker. What I wanted to ask is around visibility is, do you think that you're hiding or highlighting you and your products if you have your own business? So I often wonder, so many people are afraid of social media. And why is that? Because surely you have something. Remember that uniqueness I talked about, your quirkiness? The world needs that. You've got to stop hiding it and get it out there. Put it on social media. I network on social media constantly. My profile is very active on all the social media channels because I like engaging with people, and I'm no longer afraid to hide my quirkiness and my uniqueness because I've found it inspires others. And I bet you could do the same. So think about what you're doing on social media. So many people are afraid to press the like button. I want you to think about that. Why would you be afraid to press a like button and comment positively on someone else's information or share? You should absolutely do that. I promise you. So I want you to think about that. Why would you hide your gift? And you're keeping it from the world, so you're not doing anybody a favor. You're just hiding. That's no good. Don't let that fear stop you. And I'll just quickly touch on fear because I didn't go into it a lot, but it's so bloody important. Fear of failure, fear of change, fear of the unknown, and fear of success. And I bet you that if I sat down with anyone here, that I could find fear-driven decisions the whole way along your journey so far. Because everybody I coach, when I start drilling backwards with them to see where they got to, why they are where they are, I find fear-driven decisions the whole time. I can see them a mile away now. So I want you to ask yourself, why would you be afraid of success, right? What if you went on social media and everybody loved your posts? So what? You see, most of it is people are afraid of what other people will think. Now, here's a quote for you. What other people think of you is none of your business. And I want you to write that down, get it up on that vision board or beside it or somewhere and learn that one, because it really works with the Irish side. Because we're told to stay out of everybody else's business. So when I tell you what other people think of you is none of your business, it works a treat with us. Right, so learn that one off. I see Laura has already got it. It's a really important one. And I think it's one that's keeping people off the likes of social media platforms that they should be on, that they should be sharing on and letting people see what their skills, uniqueness are and quirkiness and seeking to inspire others. Wow. So please learn that one for me, a really, really important one. Amanda, am I over time?
Yeah. Yeah, well over time, honey. But the good news is, I'm just seeing what's happening here. Why are we not sharing screens? The good news is that you're coming back on at the end to fire them up again for a few minutes.
Yeah.
We have to leave time for, I always say at these events, it's important that the others get time to speak and that we hear from the other speakers as well. But oh my God, I'm sitting here on fire. I wrote down, poor people can't help poor people and poor nations can't help poor nations. So if you haven't got a goal, I just said this to my group last night, if you don't have a goal that isn't, for you, if you don't feel like you want that for yourself, go and work and bring your parents or do it for your family. Do it for somebody, but you can't help anybody when you're not financially, it's not all about the money, guys, but at the end of the day, money can buy experiences and it can help people. You can donate it if you don't want it, but you can't have options or opportunities without it. Okay, so brilliant. What else did I wrote down? You're talking about, I talk about the superpower. We all have a superpower and the world needs to see it. So thank you. You're speaking my language. I'm inspired. I'm fired up. And thank you so much. So if everybody just gives her a virtual clap.